Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
So Bethesda Game Studios sucks. There, I said it. Harsh way to start an intro, but here we go. Hello everybody, I am the Holy Commentator, and I've been invested into RPG games for years. I played so many RPG games, from Mass Effect to Dragon Age to Wasteland, basically anything you can find on console because I'm broke. But the top series I played and enjoyed was the Fallout series, which houses my favorite game, Fallout New Vegas, which of course is the background content of this video. We'll talk more about that later, but for now, let's talk about my favorite Bethesda games. This includes Fallout 3 and Skyrim. I enjoyed these games extensively, playing them over and over again and recording the flaws and also figuring out why exactly I enjoyed these games. Which also made me realize that Bethesda these days kinda sucks, but also made me realize that Bethesda has always kind of sucked. Everything from being a scummy company to funding and making bad games to avoiding advice from the consumers of their products. More specifically, what they did wrong with their more popular game series. So today we're going to talk about what Bethesda has done wrong in their games from past to present. And of course, their new game, Starfield. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let's finally talk about why Bethesda is failing and even where it has failed in the past. In the past, I enjoyed games like Skyrim and Fallout at face value. They were nice casual games you can sink hours into and enjoy without having to think too much. But for an RPG game, it starts to become a problem. Let's take Skyrim for example. There aren't really many branching options and the story is mid. There's not so many things you can do in the game other than enjoy the open world and the occasional good side quest. The main thing that people are attracted to in Skyrim was the setting. It was beautiful and had everything you can look for, from snowy mountains to forests and beaches. It was something you could not really get sick of.
Except for the caves and dungeons, because it gets very repetitive.
And I don't know where the fuck that came from, and I don't know what the attitude was for, but either way, mix that with the occasional random encounter, and you can have quite a lot of fun playing a game, a couple of times. Really, the same goes for Fallout 3. The main story is not amazing, but the setting and random encounters with the occasional good side quests bring me back to the game again on repeat playthroughs. But if you look at the game like Fallout 4, they began to dumb down the RPG elements further. You had this stupid ass dialogue system that was just absolutely fucking, I don't even know what these guys were thinking. You had 4 options, 2 of them being useless 90% of the time, and you had 2 options left, with one of those options being useless 60% of the time. It was terrible dialogue and impacted how well you can immerse yourself into the game. Oh, and the main story is absolutely donkey dookie, and it is compounded with a terrible perk and RPG mechanic, basically drowning the fun out of leveling up and progressing. The heavy lifting was in the exploration and the occasional good side quests. Also, the graphics that look a lot less like burnt plastic like in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, but, that's for another story, another time. This is where more of that cocky attitude is brought out. Fallout New Vegas was a hit game that Bethesda has given to Obsidian to make. They had roughly, 12 months and created a masterpiece with very few flaws. But you know what Bethesda did with the game company that made this? They cut the bonus they're supposed to receive and held a grudge for a while. They needed 86 on Metacritic to get that bonus and missed the mark narrowly because of the initial bugs mostly. I blame that on the Fallout engine, but regardless. But then you have to wonder, if this game did so well and to this day has such a cult following, why not return to them for support in their next game? Many players of the new and old Fallout games agree that this game captured the essence of what Fallout should be. An amazing open world with branching options, amazing side quests, cool gear and equipment, amazing perks, and much more. But I think the main reason they weren't brought back for a second go is because of pride. This game was an RPG that shocked the market the same way Skyrim did, but without the 26 different remasters. But Fallout New Vegas didn't get a remaster, and as far as I remember, Microsoft owns Bethesda and Obsidian and could easily make this work. Redfall seemed to be the same greedy Bethesda that we see with Fallout 76. Nobody wanted this game. Not the people making it, not the playtesters, none of the players, probably not even the executives, but it was pushed out anyway, and in the end, it caused a massive brain drain for the studio behind it, Arcane. All this ends at the point of Starfield. Now, I tried to play the game, but got bored in the first few hours, so I will have to rely heavily on game reviews and videos I've seen on the game, but as far as I can tell, it's a barren game with a terrible main story, bad progression, and the setting is basically AI copy-pasted bullshit no one really wanted to see in a Bethesda game. It is again a dumbed-down system, as instead of getting at least an amazing, intriguing setting that you can get immersed in, like with Skyrim and Fallout 3, you'll have the same copy-pasted planet you'll see for the 11th time in a row. Compare that to Fallout 4 and all its flaws, and you'll see really quick that in every new Bethesda RPG, we are getting further from a better game and closer to a worse one. And this game is the add-up of everything bad with Bethesda. All the greed, pride, and scummy practices. And this is the main problem with modern Bethesda. So here's the basic background you can blow your brains out to. So Bethesda Game Studio was its own company in 2001 with the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Howard, who single-handedly became the perfect bullseye and target for anybody who had any criticism on any Bethesda games. He was also initially the one that a lot of gamers couldn't relate to. In the behind-the-scenes videos and live events, he would talk about stuff from his past and blah 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 blah. But really what you should take away from this is Todd Howard started to get a really big head. And understandably, from the years 2004 to roughly 2018, Bethesda Softworks had produced numerous great games. Let's start a small list. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Fallout 3 through 4, Rage, Dishonored, Prey, Wolfenstein Reboot, and Doom Reboot, of course the amazing games, The Evil Within, and quite a few more. At this time, they were rocking the game industry with hit after hit, and they did not seem to be slowing down. Until 2018, when they released Fallout 76, which was a turning point for the developers at Bethesda. This is when greed and entitlement began to run rampant, it seems. Fallout 76 was an absolute mess, with terrible glitches and a broken game that was unbelievably boring and barren. Not even including the terrible consumer practices such as terrible merch drops and all of that bullshit. Internet historian made an amazing video about that at the time. Bethesda got greedy and they got bitten for it. Even the new updates that made the game better and actually gave you a reason to play, it does not excuse the terrible launch. I mean, right after Fallout 76 came out, came the worst Wolfenstein game, which was Young Blood, which the average Down syndrome kid couldn't even enjoy. After that came another major flop of Redfall, which was made for no one but the voices in some schizophrenic's head. After all those flops, Bethesda needed to win. And they got a few with, the game Doom Eternal and the Fallout TV show and all that kind of stuff. But they were still not forgiven on their huge amount of flops and general laziness and cocky attitude. The win they wanted was with Starfield, a game I was even hyped for despite wanting a new Fallout game. But in the end, Starfield was a collection of everything Bethesda is doing wrong in their games. But before we discuss that, let's discuss the problem I found in the older games Bethesda had made. Bethesda needs to turn around real quick if they want people to continue supporting their games. As with all these flops and flaws, it is making me scared for what the next Skyrim game will have to offer and what new flaws or dumbed down aspect will be added into the new one. Yes, they've been working on this game for years, but on what exactly and with what principles in mind? In the beginning, I thought that Skyrim was like GTA 6 in a way, where no matter what, people will buy the game and there is no way anyone doubts it will be a great game. But after these past failures, I wonder what will happen next. If Bethesda wants to succeed, they need to do a few things. First thing is to listen to all the consumer feedback and look more to the people who mod Fallout and Skyrim. I mean, look at Fallout London, the game that everyone's enjoying at the moment, or Fallout New Vegas remakes that's in the works for Fallout 4. These fans know what they want and the modders know how to do it. I don't care what they do in the end as long as they listen to fans. Second is they don't get lazy or complacent. It seems like quests and stories and branching quest lines are getting lazier and lazier or even non-existent. They need to appeal to RPG gamers, and the way to do it is through good writing, not just good visuals. Fallout 4 against Fallout New Vegas is an example of that. Or in games like Skyrim, where you have multiple useless fetch quests where you run around like a retard trying to find a broken pencil. Third, they need to be less greedy, especially if they have anything to do with the other flops or games like Wolfenstein or Redfall. Let the devs cook on their own, and most of the time they know what to do, and they know what their fans want. I mean, Prey was an underrated masterpiece of a game. And the fourth tip I can think for them is to become more humble. Yes, they created great games in the past, like Skyrim and Fallout, but they've also had quite a few flaws that irk gamers to this day. if they learn what their problems are instead of copy and pasting the rough format of what they did in their previous games, it will go far in how the newer games turn out. Lastly is to ditch the pride. Let companies like Obsidian help make newer games. Let more mods help make the newer games. As a matter of fact, let more companies support on newer projects. It will go a long way in how the games turn out and how much fans enjoy it. In the end, I hope Bethesda learns from their problems and are able to make and ensure a good future for games like Skyrim and Fallout, because my butthole cannot shit out as much diarrhea as Bethesda is putting out right now. Before I end the video, I want to thank my girlfriend for adding her perspective on games like Skyrim. But either way, gamers, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. This is me, the Holy Commentator, signing off for now.
Come to Mick and Ralph's for all your shopping needs. Hey, I can almost see right down the barrel.